Hi, and welcome to this webinar on a regional approach for communication and decision making from your friends in SEDICA. I'm Sunny Cook, and I serve as the president of Grossmont College, and I'm the CEO lead to this leadership team. And let me introduce some of the rest of the folks to you.
Hello, I'm Mary Bernard, and I am the CIO lead for the region, and I'm the Vice President of Instructional Services at Miracosta College.
Hi, I'm Margie Fritsch, the Workforce Development Dean Council Chair, Dean at San Diego Mesa College.
Hi, I'm Mary Wiley. I'm the Consortium Chair for the Regional Consortium for San Diego Imperial County's Community Colleges.
And finally, I'm Stan Schroeder. I'm the Executive Director of the Grossmont-Cuyamaca Community College District Auxiliary. We serve as the fiscal agent for the Regional Consortium.
Today's presentation will cover the overall approach of the San Diego Imperial County's Regional Consortium and the college presidents. It'll cover the resources in our sectors, the leadership team, its membership and its relationships, and especially communication and coordination, which is so important. Our final aspect will be about lessons learned.
So let's begin by telling you a little bit about what SEDICA is. It's the San Diego and Imperial County Community Colleges Association, and it consists of all of the community colleges within the two counties, San Diego and Imperial. We have been in existence since the 1960s with a very formalized structure, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have subsets of the organization which meet monthly, and the SEDICA CEOs, the Chief Executive Officers, serve as the policy head of this regional consortium. The colleges within this region consist of San Diego City College, Miracosta College, Cuyamaca and Grossmont Colleges, San Diego Miramar, Palomar, Imperial Valley, Southwestern, San Diego Mesa, and San Diego Continuing Education.
The regional leadership structure supports communication and decision-making throughout the leadership and is comprised of groups that have been in existence for many years. For instance, the SEDICA CEOs, as you know, have been in existence since the 1960s. And then to the right of this slide, we've got the Chief Instructional Officers and the Workforce Development Council, which is a subgroup of SEDICA CEOs. They've been in existence for at least 4 years. And then we've got the external partners, members of the community organizations that have been in existence for 40 plus years as well. What we've done is build on an existing structure to include and develop the Doing What Matters leadership team, which includes representatives from each one of these regional groups. We have representatives from the CEOs, from the CIOs, from the Workforce Development Council. We also have the Regional Consortium Chair and the Executive Director of the Grossmont Auxiliary serving on this leadership team, which serves as a steering committee for decision-making and communication throughout the region. The Doing What Matters Sector Task Force reports to and is a subcommittee of the Doing What Matters leadership team.
Well, Dr. Cook talked about SEDICA being the policy head of the consortium. The WDC, the Workforce Development Council, is the real operations unit for the consortium. That's where all the hard work gets done. The Regional Workforce Development Council, as Mary mentioned, has existed for many years, originally as a designated occupational deans group and morphed into a more regional group that represents both career technical deans as well as economic and workforce development professionals. So the slide that you see in front of you really represents the structure that is in place that supports doing what matters in our region. Margie is the chair of that council, and the consortium regional chair, who is me, works very closely with Margie on the agenda monthly and on all of the activities that are undertaken on behalf of the consortium and the region. It is composed of the designated occupational deans, whose charge is primarily program approval, but who are very much involved in all aspects of decisions relating to the region in workforce and economic development. Also members are Consortium Chair, which is me, as well as our coordinator, and also our auxiliary fiscal agent, which is Stan. And then there's a whole group of economic and workforce development members who include deans and directors, statewide sector navigators, deputy sector navigators, career pathway directors, and other technical assistance providers. They all meet regularly, monthly together, and that agenda is open and is developed in collaboration to meet the needs of all of these different units that have concern over where we're going as a region for workforce development. The Sector Task Force, which is a group that meets right after the monthly WDC meeting and also meets at other times, but that has worked out quite well because they go in more detail in issues that relate to the sectors within our region. And they also then are a subgroup of the leadership team. So they're a very crucial part of what we're doing because the sectors are our focus under doing what matters. And we are trying to make sure we are integrating all of these very key talent folks within our region and making sure that we are collaborating in decision making in a way that makes regional decisions work and come up with the outcomes we're looking for.
In accordance with the Doing What Matters requirements coming from the Chancellor's Office in Sacramento, initially this region through the Workforce Development Council and ultimately the CEOs and SEDICA reviewed the sectors that were important to our region in accordance with the criteria, and we identified the 3 priority sectors you see listed: health, biotech, advanced transportation, renewables, as well as the 2 emergent sectors, the advanced manufacturing and the ICT, digital media. Our 2 locally designated ones are the small business and international. As needed, the colleges connect with the statewide navigators so that we can take advantage of the excellent resources available in the other sectors. While we have 7 deputy sector navigators within our region, they do link with the 10 statewide sector navigators, and our colleges connect with the statewide sector navigators as needed, whether we have one of the 10 in our region or not. It's important to note that the other support that we receive is the Center of Excellence, the LMI specialist, as well as the coordination with our Career Pathways Regional Director for the SB 1070 project. So the Workforce Development Council is, as Mary just mentioned previously, essential for linking together the individuals and talking about not just what is happening now, but planning for the future.
When our region first began looking at the Doing What Matters initiative, one of the things we identified early on was that communication was going to be a key success factor for implementing a regional model for decision making. One of the strategies that we have employed is that there are monthly meetings of the involved stakeholders, including the SEDICA, CEOs and chancellors, the leadership team that was identified earlier, and the Workforce Development Council that includes the Sector Task Force. These groups meet monthly. The outcome of those meetings, when we started looking into this a little bit deeper, is how will we go about making decisions? So we have actually implemented a regional decision-making process in several different areas. Those areas are in the sector selection process that we engage in, competitive funding, any regional grant funds available, follow a process. In our voting process, and that is twofold, the curriculum approvals that are done by the identified CTE dean and all other issues coming before the council. We also have a process for college engagement and curriculum alignment that has stemmed from the SB 1070 and the work that we are doing right now. We also have a regional advisory committees where we have identified the structure, the colleges have identified the members, so we are working very much as a region in those areas. This communication process that we have set up has really helped in the making of decisions and keeping everybody informed. When we look back and we think about the lessons learned through all of this, communication is absolutely critical. We did have missteps, and then we corrected it and realized again, coming back, just how important it was to make sure all of our communication was transparent. Also, we realized that trust in the relationships, as Sunny mentioned earlier, SEDICA has been in existence since the 1960s, so there is a lot of trust built up, and we had to build on that trust. Also building on our regional strengths, you've seen where we have existing structures and have only tweaked or added structures. We did not create things that didn't need to be created. We also learned that we had to shed our college hat. With 9 colleges involved in the decision-making process, we couldn't act as one autonomous college. We had to act as a region. We've also realized the benefits of working regionally. We've also learned to celebrate our outcomes. Instead of looking at just college outcomes, we've really focused on the regional outcomes and how that impacts the students in the San Diego Imperial County region. We've also learned to have a good understanding and support of the CTE workforce development mission. What does that mean, not only for our colleges, but what does that mean for our region? And lastly, probably one of the most important lessons learned is that our decision making is truly transparent.
So we hope what we've shown you today is really a little bit about our existing structure and how we built on that to really promote our regional collaboration. This foundation has served us well in many areas over the years, and we found that we had to make some tweaks and improvements and enhancements so that it could serve us equally well in this dynamic field of career technical education and workforce development. And if you need more information or if you'd like copies of this PowerPoint, the contact information for Mary Wiley, our Regional Consortium Chair, is here on this slide. This was a joint effort with the entire Doing What Matters steering team, and so you saw the leadership at work, the CEO, the CIO, the Dean, the Regional Consortium Chair, and also the fiscal agent. And we hope that you've learned a little bit something about our model, and we hope that it's helpful for you. But please understand that we are definitely a work in progress, and it's always a process to try to improve that which you already have. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'd be happy to answer any questions through email, and the contact information is on your slide.